Welcome back to another episode of the Interlake Sports Now. I'm Josh Dugan, and with spring sports getting off to a little bit of a delayed start thanks to this late burst of good old Montana winter weather in spring, we all know how that goes. So we're kind of getting a delayed start on softball, baseball, tennis, track, all our fun outdoor action. So because of that, we're going to mainly dive into some headlines from the Interlake the last couple weeks, and just slowly but surely keep diving into those spring sports. Last week on the show, I had Fritz Neighbor of the Daily Interlake on. We talked a little bit about the baseball scene and the softball scene heading into this season. So if you're looking to get into the spring sports action, that's a good one to start. So before we get to all that fun stuff, all those good headlines, quick reminder. Today's episode is brought to you by Nomad. Go to the Flathead's best manufacturer. Nomad is a longtime supporter of the local community and sports scene, celebrating 20 years of building great careers in mission-focused custom vehicles. Nomad, a Montana-based company making a global impact. Visit nomadgcs.com for more info. That's nomadgcs.com for more information. Alrighty, thank you again to our friends at Nomad, as always, for helping make the fun happen here at the Interlake Sports Now. So, dive into the headlines. Let's get right into it. This one's starting out in the Montana college basketball scene. So, after 5 seasons back coaching college basketball in Montana, MSU Billings coach Mick Durham announced Wednesday he is retiring. The NCAA Division II Yellow Jackets went 59-56 in Durham's tenure with a 39-36 record in the Great Northern Athletic Conference. His 22-23 team went 20-10, the program's most wins since 2005-2006, and they went to the NCAA Division II tournament. Here's a quote from the Montana native. "It's been a thrill for me to come back to my home state and finish out my coaching career," the 66-year-old said in a release from MSUBsports.com. "I also would like to thank my 2 full-time assistants, Bobby Howard my first 2 years and Luke Fennelly the last 3 years, for all the work and loyalty they showed during my MSUB tenure. Lastly, thanks to the players that played here the last 5 years and all the work they put in on and off the court to make MSUB proud. I'm excited to be leaving after a good season and an NCAA tournament berth and solid momentum for the future." So, awesome stuff from the Three Forks product. Coach Durham, he was a standout point guard for Montana State from 1975 to 1980. He also coached at his alma mater from 1990 through 2006. He accumulated 246 wins and 213 losses with the Bobcats, and in 1996, an NCAA tournament berth. So, quite a successful stint. He also spent time as an assistant at New Mexico State and was a head coach at Alaska Fairbanks for 7 seasons. Here in GNAT Coach of the Year in 2012-2013 season, and grabbed the honor, co-coach of the year. And then this past season, earned it outright Coach of the Year for this conference. So overall, quite a career for Durham. He did win a Big Sky Conference Coach of the Year in there back in the day with the Bobcats, and in total, as a college coach, he won 397 games. So, awesome career from the Montana product and the coaching ranks. Fitting place to end it back in his home state. So, moving along in the college world related to some Montana products who are still playing, College of Idaho recently won the NAIA national title. They're a bit of a powerhouse in the NAIA, and they just landed 2 Montana products via commitment here. The Yotes got Butte Central's Dougie Peoples, who recently was the Montana Gatorade Player of the Year in the state. He leaves Butte with 1,683 career points. In his last 2 seasons, he averaged 24.6 per game and 23.3 per game. Just one of those guys who's a walking bucket. I remember Fritz Neighbor described the first time he told me about Dougie Peoples. He said he's one of those kids who's hot when he walks off the bus. So just a pure scorer. So great get for College of Idaho. As for Alex Germer, the other commit, he's a 6'8" forward out of Missoula Sentinel, but he's played the last few years with the Bobcats. He decided to enter the transfer portal and decided to go on to play with the national champions. So, hey, if you're going to, maybe go from Division I to the NAIA level, why not play with the best? And the Yotes are one of the best. So, good stuff for him. A lot of talent in this state. It's great to see these kids keeping their athletic careers going. So that overall gives the Coyotes 4 Montana products on the roster. Drew Wyman, a 6'5" guard out of Great Falls, averaged 11.9 points last year and 4.2 rebounds as a sophomore. He was a key player. And then Caden Handren, a 6'6" guard out of Scobie, averaged 3.4 points and 4.1 boards as a sophomore. So overall, the Coyotes last year went 36-1. Then they picked up That's 73-71 win over Indiana Tech for that championship we were talking about. So anytime you're a national champion, that's special at any level. So to see a couple Montana products continue their journey there, awesome stuff. Kudos to them. Speaking of another Montana product who's going to be keeping his career going at the college ranks, Glacier big man Noah Dowler. He recently announced his commitment to Montana Tech. The 6'8" big man was one of the best rebounders and rim protectors in the state last season, and Montana Tech mentioned in a tweet that they see Dowler as a player with a high ceiling. So it seems like the sky's the limit for the Glacier High product. He's moving on to play at the college level. Had the opportunity to watch Dowler quite a bit last year here in Kalispell, and biggest thing that stood out for a 6'8" big man, all the potential in the world. He was a really unselfish player in a day and age when a lot of big guys want to stray away from the basket, float on the perimeter. He had no problem doing the dirty work inside, grabbing rebounds and protecting the heck out of the rim, and that's really what you ask for. There's a big reason Glacier finished third in the state, and Dowler's a big part of it. So overall, great get for Montana Tech, and excited to see how Dowler continues to develop at the next level, because the talent and the potential is definitely there. Like they said, high ceiling player. In other recruiting news, also related to a Glacier prep star, Reagan Brizadine, a junior at Glacier High, announced her early commitment to the University of Montana soccer program. So exciting stuff right there. This one was on Twitter back on February 24th. I'm beyond excited and grateful to announce that I have verbally committed to play Division I soccer and further my education at the University of Montana, said Brizadine. Brizadine scored 33 goals last year. Only Gallatin senior Olivia Collins, whose total of 42, including 9 in the postseason, had more. In total, Brizadine has 57 goals in her prep career. So next up, another Glacier product who decided to take their talent to the University of Montana. Glacier High alumni Kenzie hit her first collegiate home run Saturday, but the Montana Grizzlies were swept in a Big Sky Conference doubleheader by Portland State. Regardless, Mole socked a pinch hit solo home run in the 5th inning of the 9-1 loss to the Vikings. That's what it's all about, Mole getting the opportunity. Always cool to see our local Valley athletes continue their journey at the next level, and when they get a chance, shining. So great stuff. 2 other pieces of news from the college ranks. Jumping back to the Grizz and the Bobcats for a few. I know we've been all over the place, but we had a lot of headlines to make up for last week. We were talking to Fritz, talking baseball, talking softball, so we didn't get to some of these. So some big news as far as all our college basketball fans or our Cat-Griz fans. We'll start out with the Grizz. Josh Bannon, Australian product. He's been one of the stars of their basketball program the last few years. He's decided he's going pro. He's trying to take his talents, I believe, to the NBL, the Australian Professional League. One of those guys who just an anchor for that team, do it all, big man. He could pass, he could shoot, he could rebound. So they're going to deeply miss him. He's been a guy who's just been a heart and soul kind of player where every game you know what you're going to get. Now, as for the Bobcats, Darian White, who, again, was their go-to player. We're talking about 2 of the biggest basketball stars in the state on their way out. So it's going to be interesting. So Darian White was a big-time star for the Lady Bobcats, helped really bring that program to where they are. She decided to enter the transfer portal. She's going to try to take her final year of eligibility somewhere else. So when you factor all that in, it looks like next year on the horizon, we're going to have some new star faces in the college ranks here in Montana, because you add in Jabril Bello and Raquan Battle also on their way out from the Bobcats. Their eligibility was up. They'll be most likely taking their career to the pro level, if you had to ask me, somewhere in the States or overseas. Both guys, heck of a players. So just kind of interesting how time flies in the college basketball world, especially in this transfer portal era and era of international talent like Bannon, who has the opportunity to pursue a pro career outside of the United States. So going to be fun, though, to see where do the 2 programs go, how do they rebound, how do they kind of reload, you could say, because, like I said, those are key faces and talents on their way out. So, that's just one thing to really watch. Of course, both programs have solid foundations, solid coaching staffs who have been there, putting in the work. So I think you look at the Bobcats, man, Coach Sprinkles had that thing rolling. Look at the Bobcat women, same thing. Same goes for the Grizz. Obviously, the Bobcats have had a little upper hand. They had that NCAA tournament berth, but overall, it was a great season of basketball. But next year in Montana, we're going to see a little bit different look. So overall, great stuff as always. Thank you everybody for tuning in. Today's episode is brought to you by Nomad. Go to the Flathead's best manufacturer. Nomad is a longtime supporter of the local community and sports scene, celebrating 20 years of building great careers in mission-focused custom vehicles. Nomad, a Montana-based company making a global impact. Visit nomadgcs.com for more info. That's nomadgcs.com for more information.